schmeckt der Kaffee süß, lieblicher als 1000 Küsse, milder als Muskatenwein, milder als Muskatenwein. Kaffee, Kaffee, Kaffee muss ich haben. Und wenn niemand mich will haben,
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. This is Coffee with Lavender, and I am the Lavender Lady, Diana Clarion. How are ya? This is my little fluff piece show here in what is, for me, Sunday morning here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And it's kind of just a little of this, a little of that, maybe some little, maybe some little things thrown in, but nothing too serious. And wait till later in the show to see me sort of make a liar of myself. And for everyone who does not yet know her, I was about to introduce Sylvia, but she took off. She's the owner of that tail you saw. This morning is 4th of November, 2018. And I've been kind of busy here, there, and everywhere. Winter is coming. And with the coming of winter, I've been doing a lot of cooking and canning and getting things ready to go, so I don't have to do too much cooking while I'm bundled up in a wrap, keeping warm here. But what I saw when I looked out of my kitchen window, and it looks like it's not quite working here. Let me fix that, if you don't mind. I was supposed to be showing you something that I'm not showing you here. I was supposed to be showing you some leaves. Okay, that's better. Okay, now we've got it going. That's what was outside my kitchen window. And yes, it's a portent of winter, and it's rather a sad time for me because the weather will be turning cold, and for anyone who's been homeless, you kind of remember, especially up here in the northern part of the globe or the southern part, depending on what month and what season. It does get a little chilly, and having no heat can be a bit of a problem, and that's a problem that I had run into a couple of years, and it kind of reminds me of those days, and it's kind of why I don't like winter anymore. I remember when I was a young girl, I couldn't wait for the first snowfall. I loved playing in the snow. Now, years later, it's not quite the same thing anymore. So some of the things that happen when you get old. And oh, hi Kate, how you doing? Yeah, okay, is everybody hearing me and everything? Is everything good with the sound, or is there a problem? I mean, if I have a sound problem, then it's something I might want to fix. But well, I'll just keep going here, and if my sound is bad, then some of you can. I sound like a Cylon. What's a Cylon sound like? Okay, I'm going to have to take a chance at this. Echo. Okay, I want to know. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I took a chance on opening up my ears on the show, and I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. Yeah, let me try. I'm gonna try something different here. Let's go here and try to make it a different setting here. All right. How does this sound? Is this any better? I know what you're talking about, Kate, because I opened my ears on the show, and yeah, it was almost a metallic echo. Yeah, that could be a problem. I still have to work on this. They're getting those settings tweeted are a little strange. It's a little bit of work. Okay, that may have been enough to get. No, that's not working either. Okay, I'm going to try a different microphone. Okay, I am going to try a différence microphone. Where are my properties? A little better now, but yeah, still a little weird, but much better. Let me try a different microphone and see if that doesn't help. Let's see. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, let's give that a little bit here. Yes, you see, hey kitty. And where is she? Just don't go climbing the place, will you? There was supposed to be another kitty here today. My friend is my friend is down here from northern Pennsylvania. And she had planned on bringing a kitty down here with me, and that somehow had a wrench thrown into it. Oh my, hi there, Mr. Upside Down Man. How you doing? Oh my, we've got everybody pouring in here. Oh my word. Okay, let's forget that. Let's forget that. Okay, let's do that. Okay, okay, it's a little better. I went back to the other setting. Oh my word. Yeah, we're on analog mono on the mic, and let's see how that works. Okay. I need an audio engineer here. Yeah, and something else I'm hearing is as I have the ears on the show, I'm actually hearing me on a little bit of a delay, very, very softly. I don't know if you folks can hear that or not, but I'm going to definitely be working on this and finding some better. I don't remember what the heck you and I did last week, Kate, when we were having the problem on the show, but oh well, I'm going to have to, like I say, I'm going to work on that. Try to make it a little better for everybody. And speaking of making things better for everybody, Kate, I think I have figured out the problem I had on the evening show last Sunday. It might have something to do with a medication I was put on recently. One of the side effects seems to be confusion. And I am off. I've taken myself off that medication for the time being, and I'm going to see my doctor about that in about a week and a half. And there's no way I'm going back on. If this is what's doing it, there's no way I'm going back on. We'll have to find a different way to do that. But yeah, hopefully things are going to be a little bit better. Um, okay, for you guys that have just come in, again, this is just sort of fluff in the morning, a little bit of coffee, and well, morning here in Pittsburgh anyway. Maybe a few things of meaning or so, but on to one of them. The fallen leaves I saw at my window. As I say, that's the portent of winter. And another thing that happened this week, the title of my show, I was down at the, okay, this is doing some really strange things here. I don't have my settings quite right, and I don't understand why. Okay, let's do that. There we go. Let's give that a try. Um, I was at the Heinz History Center a couple of days ago, and I'm waiting for I'm waiting for the picture to show up. There it is. Now I see it on the show. And that rather cone-shaped object you see behind me is the Apollo 11 command module. Now that Apollo mission holds a special place in my heart. And yes, there were a few tears when I went there. That was the second time I saw Columbia. I saw her at the Air and Space Museum about 20 years ago. While I was there, I was reminded of Exodus 3, where the Moses character talks to the Yahweh character in the fictional story, with that whole burning bush thing going on. And one of the things I could never figure out was how did everybody fit into that bush, first of all? Must have been a pretty damn big bush. And it was kind of warm in there, I suppose, because it was a burning bush. Were they wearing asbestos suits or something? But the words that the Yahweh character supposedly said to the Moses character were, remove the sandals from your feet, for the ground upon which you stand is holy ground. And that was another thing I could never figure out, because if that was holy ground, if that was Yahweh's holy ground, what did Yahweh want with Moses' toe cheese all over this ground? Why shouldn't he leave his sandals on? But that aside, supposedly the place, Horeb, I believe it was called, the mountain of God, supposedly this is very special. And to me, being in the presence of an artifact of that age, especially Apollo 11, as I said, it's very special to me because the landing, the day Neil and Buzz landed, was my 12th birthday. So even though the missions that followed added on, each of them became greater than the one that was before it. And finally, 17 brought home the most science of all. 11, because of that association with the accident of my birth, holds a very special meaning to me. So, is that what is meant by holy? I mean, perhaps it is to me. I don't hold any special regard for the supernatural. As a matter of fact, I maintain that the supernatural does not exist. I maintain that there are no gods. So holy isn't connected with gods, or it isn't connected with this supernatural thing. Is it simply a special thing, a special place, a special feeling, which, okay, is what I had, and I'm going to have to fix the properties again. All right, here we go. Which is what I had, which is the special feeling I had when I visited the Grand Canyon. This, for whatever reason, maybe its appearance, maybe it's the processes that led to its formation. Whatever it is, that is a very, very special place to me. I stood in awe of that canyon. The photograph, the image you see here, can do no justice at all to that place. It is, as far as I am concerned, it is supreme beauty. There may be those who say it is nothing but a gash in the ground. And okay, perhaps it is to them. Perhaps they hold other things in regard. Perhaps they hold nothing at all in regard. I don't know. But there you have it. The Grand Canyon, the CM, Columbia. Um, those are special things to me. Is that what holy means? And I'd like to hear from you folks what holy is to you, what that sort of thing means to you. Perhaps we can do a show on it at some time um, to sort of go over what that means to people. Perhaps today, even, if there's anybody that would like to hop on and have a discussion, uh, I can actually send you a link to get you in. Oh man, you guys are talking about the picture. Okay, okay, we're gonna have to do something about that. You probably want to look at that more than you want to look at my ugly mug anyway, right? The original trilogy. What is that, Kate? Is that some sort of reference? Um, okay, Kukichi, you were in the Atacamaca Desert. Um, where would that? Oh, fine. Uh, let me uh, let me toss you a link here. All I have to do is get. I have to find where Twitter is. There it is. Oh man. Yes, I'm scatterbrained. I am. What can I tell you? I am the original blonde. Okay, let's go where we need to go here. And, yay, okay, fine. We're going to send a new message. New message! Yeah, for those of you who don't know, you just figured it out. Um, and there we are. Alrighty, Kate. Message is on its way. Looking forward to seeing you. Anybody else? Let's have a happy party. Let's have a happy party here. Yeah, well, some people add the extra S, some people don't, huh? Um, yeah, the Alta Kamaka, where is that? I am not familiar with what that is. I like that, Doc Pearson. I like it. Holy is definitely a sentiment. I don't know that it can be. Oh, hi. Oh, little bit this, little bit that. Good for me, good for you. What am I talking about? I have no idea. Yeah, I'm. Oh, I see. Let's see if I. No, I can't do that. No, I'm not very good at it this morning. No, that's horrible. That's horrible. Forget I said that. Yes, there are some of those actual British people out there. Um, and then, of course, there are those actual Aussies, those people hanging onto the turtle legs. Oh no, is this happening again? Okay, I am going to. This happened to us the last time we were on, and it may have been on the other thing that I. Okay,
Well,
it
let me
I-
check
it
my
may have
end.
it may have been on another panel of OBS where I made the
Oh,
corrections, and I might not have made them here. Um, I made a change on the
okay, what
OBS.
about now? I hope people can hear me now because for some reason my settings, the default recording device
Um,
had been set to
I
the
made a
webcam
change
instead of
on
my
the
headphones.
yeah, and
On
that's
the
what I've
Okay,
been
what
OBS.
about
doing.
now?
Say again, hon.
I said that for some reason my settings, the recording device had been set to the webcam instead of my headphones.
Oh,
So
okay.
I just switched that, and it seems to
Well,
potentially be working. I don't know.
I also made a change. It was the same change that I made, I guess, on the other panel last week. I was putting out the default to
Yeah,
OBS, and I changed it specifically to the headphone speakers. And
right.
yeah, Hans says now we can hear, and the sound is much better. Okay, so maybe it's the combination then of the headphone speakers. Yes,
Right.
and it yeah, must be the combination of settings for the output and the input that are doing better on this.
Could be.
Okay, great.
So anyway, when I said the original trilogy, I meant Star Wars. Duh.
Okay, okay. I have just woken up. I got up an
I don't
hour
want to hear
ago,
it.
Kate.
I literally woke up less than a half hour ago, so I don't want to hear it. Actually,
I
it's
don't know.
funny. For once, I was not awakened by a hungry kitty. She was not head-butting me awake. I don't know.
Oh my, is something wrong here?
What?
Well, that there's no hungry kitty headbutting you in the morning,
Oh.
if that's what
No,
always
no.
happens.
Granted, when I went, as stretching, she came in and was like, okay, okay. So I don't know. But anyway, I mean, obviously, I was only joking a little when I said the original trilogy. I'm having a difficult time really coming up with something that I would consider holy exactly. But last night, I was coming home from the atheist booth, and
Oh, okay, yeah.
I saw this sunset with palm trees. And I mean, this is why I live in California. I had to take a picture of it. I was just like, this is beautiful. And
Okay.
I don't usually look at my environment and have that feeling, but I was like, this has triggered so many memories, and it's so wonderful that I had to take a picture.
Oh, do you have that picture around, or
I do, or at least wait a minute. I
would you
posted it.
mind sharing it, or?
Well, I posted it to Facebook. I will have to download it because I
Oh,
posted it
okay.
directly from my phone.
If
So
it's
I
too
will
much of a
have to
problem, don't
download
worry
it.
about it. No.
No, 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 no. It'll take me like a couple of seconds, less than a minute.
Oh, danke schön.
Okay, and no, we will save this to the desktop to make it easy to find. But I titled it as "This is why I live in California." So, yeah. Let me
So
see.
what? It makes up for the expense of living there.
Actually, my expenses are very, very low, but I'm in a unique situation.
Yeah, because
Um,
it's usually quite expensive, is it not?
oh, yes, very much so. I'm trying to find, like, I know that the host has the option to share a screenshot or to share their screen somehow. I'm not
Yeah.
finding it. I'll probably have to change my profile picture to it.
I believe let's see if I can do this right. No, I'm not doing that right. Come here, you. Okay,
Uh,
I think that if I do that, I can
oh,
show
wait,
your
no, I found it.
profile.
I found it. I found it. Let's see. So I will do that real quick, and then I will do where the heck is my desktop? There it is.
Hello.
And sunset. Where the hell did sunset go? Okay, I
Right after
saved it here.
sunrise.
What the hell? Sunset. There it is. All right. So that is what I saw last night.
Oh my word, yeah. The sun behind the palms.
Mm-hmm.
That
So
does have a certain beauty to it.
yeah, yeah. So I absolutely had to take a picture of that. Um, and it just I mean, the only thing that could have improved it. No, I take that back. There are two things that could have improved this. The ocean. If I could have seen the ocean at the same time.
Yeah.
Also, arriving spaceships coming to befriend humanity would have improved this greatly. So,
Save us from ourselves.
yeah. So that is definitely well, it made me happy. Anyway,
And happy is a good thing.
yes,
Definitely.
yes.
Oh
Uh,
my.
but I mean, do I actually hold anything holy? If we're talking in an actual secular sense, I mean, my favorite band's music. There are some songs that like give me that feeling, that sort of. I think it was either Christopher Hitchens or Sam Harris who described it as the numinous, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes, yes. The numinous. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few. There's a few songs that just make me go, "Oh, this is awesome! I could listen to this all day." So there's that. And like I said, I mean, I was only slightly kidding when I said the original trilogy. There's definitely moments in that where I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." Like I would give a left body part to live on Cloud City.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just something about it. I look at it and I go, "This is a place I would totally live." So.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about the desert Southwest, except for the lack of water, for one. Which, well, that's kind of what makes it a desert, but well, not really. It's lack of precipitation, but that's something else again. Um, and again, I'm set up here in Pittsburgh to the point where I can actually afford kind of to live here. I don't have to worry that much about taking care of myself, paying my own way. No, well, government doles paying my way, but let's face it. Um, but I don't have to worry about getting things pulled out from under me so much as I have had happen to me a couple of times in the past. So I think I'm going to end up. I think I'm going to end up here for a while.
Yeah.
Plus,
Well, I mean, no, go
plus,
on.
yeah. Next year I'm celebrating. I don't know if you call it celebrating or not. Next year I will have lived here half my life.
Yeah, I kind of did that with Seattle, I guess. I was there 20 years and I'm now 42. So, yeah, no, it was definitely like just about half my life in Seattle. So I know what that's like.
Yeah, and with that, you can say that you've actually spent more of your adult life, like you in Seattle, me in Pittsburgh, than you spent, the adult life back where you originally based yourself in those, in those times after you were first saw the world. Popped out and said, "What the hell am I doing out here? I want to go back in." Uh,
Yeah, well, there's that. You know what? It was definitely rather early. I felt that they popped me out of the uterine replicator vat. So, yeah.
oh, okay. You were a preemie.
Hmm?
You were a preemie.
No, no, no.
Oh, I thought
They.
when I heard the word early,
I'm being silly. It was like
and
instead.
I'm being dense.
Okay. No, I often like to talk about uterine replicator vats, which you see in sci-fi a lot, where it's like pregnant, nah, pop that fetus into a glass chamber so you can watch it grow without like pregnancy and childbirth kind of thing. It's a common trope in sci-fi. I
Yeah,
mean,
which reminds me of Logan's Run, where what was the name of Logan, of course, and what was the name of Logan's friend? They were talking about um, Logan had a child, and it was through mechanical means, glass tubes and all that bullshit, and he was asked, "Well, who's the mother?" And it's that little strange thing that nobody would ever expect to hear.
mhm. Well, I saw that movie more than 20 years ago, so I do not remember. But yeah, I mean, actually, I could probably name other movies that. I suppose I might describe as holy the way you meant it. But Logan's Run ain't one of them.
No, definitely not. And definitely not the scene in the ruins of the Senate chamber. I think that was supposed to have been the Senate chamber. Um, I mean, there's a time I would like to see myself there, which will never happen. But
It occurs to me, I don't know where that movie took place. Like when he finally leaves the underground bunker thing, like where in the world is he when he's outside?
it's got to be somewhere near D.C. because when Logan and the what do they call those guys who chase the runners? I cannot
Oh,
remember.
like it's had something to do with night, I think, like the Sandmen, maybe.
That's got to be it. That's got to be it. I think it's Sandman. Yeah. Now that my what little of my memory that I have is coming back, I do believe it is Sandman. When they were doing battle, it was in one of the chambers of the U.S. Congress. I
Okay,
don't know how many seats were there, so I cannot remember if it was supposed to have been the Senate chamber or the House.
okay. All I really remember from the part where he's outside is that goofy looking robot that rolled instead of walked.
Oh, the one that Bro Ives voiced.
I don't know.
About oh, what the heck was it? Going on about making food, and it was the body parts of the people that were frozen there.
I don't remember. I just remember how goofy it looked.
Yeah, yeah, it was all boxes and everything piled atop one of it, and kind of, yeah, very strange robot. Very, very
Yeah.
strange robot.
Uh,
Um, oh
but I
my,
mean,
Laura.
I thought all of the outside parts were just silly, but that's just me.
Well, I never figured out how they managed to get from the outside back in because they dove into that moat around the building. But I thought that there were, mechanical things in between that moat and the inside, and they didn't get chopped up by any of it.
I don't remember any of that. What I remember from Logan's Run is, like I said, that goofy ass robot, and
Mm.
then all the people who were about to die doing this weird floaty thing up into the ceiling. That's everything I remember.
Oh, that one. I forget what they called it. It was supposed to be renewal, but you actually did die.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you actually exploded inside that whatever it was.
that's everything I remember from the movie.
Okay.
So,
Well, it did come out in what, 76, I think?
and I was not even a year old yet.
Oh
But
my.
point being that like I saw it when I was a teenager, and that was a long time ago. So yeah.
About the highlighting of the Knicks. Yeah, when someone tags your nickname with the @ sign, you will see your own nickname highlighted.
Yeah.
So it's different on every screen. So you're special, Kooky, in the sense that you you yourself are highlighted. Isn't that great? Sort of Christian, really.
Well, I mean, it's to let you know that someone is referring to you because you might miss it, and you don't want to miss it because you're awesome.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You are absolutely super awesomeness. You understand that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was
Anyway,
that?
I don't know. I'm still waking up, so I
I
don't know.
heard a whisper there. Yeah, we got a
Yeah.
little off topic, but that's okay. That's what this show is for. Uh, yeah, it's if anybody has any suggestions on what we might do on Sunday mornings, that would be wonderful. Just go
I
over
don't know.
to the Lavender Lady on Facebook or Lavender Lady Zero on Twitter and tell me what you think, and I'll look at it and I'll see what you think and I'll cry and that'll be it.
Well, you know what? One thing that I discovered yesterday, I didn't realize. Like, okay, for some reason, I've been sort of stagnant on my like reading list. You know, where I actually like books that I read, I just rereading the same crap over and over. Well, I don't mean crap. It's good books, but so then I decided that I would go looking for something new to read, and what
Okay.
I found was that Amazon is actually giving away a double wide buttload of Kindle editions of sci-fi, right? So I
Oh my.
downloaded like something like 20 books to read. And truth is that I think there's two reasons why they're giving them away for free. Number one, a lot of them are just plain garbage. But number
Okay.
two, every last one of them was number one in a series, right? So it's like first hit's free, and then if you want to read the rest, you
Ah.
gotta pay for it, right?
Oh, it's like those encyclopedias in the grocery store. Um, did you were you around for that era?
I've heard about it, but no.
Yeah, where you get the first volume for 99 cents, and then you could buy the additional volumes whenever you made your trip back to the grocery store. So I knew like 568 people that had volume one of like 40 different encyclopediae, and that was it.
So
I
what is that like? Like just letter A or something?
Yeah, basically. I have an encyclopedic knowledge of everything that starts with the letter A, with all those encyclopedia volumes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, okay, it's sort of like, you know, those people who have like the Bible just memorized,
Oh,
completely memorized. And it's like,
ah,
whoa, that's crazy, dude. Although there is one passage that I've decided I need to memorize. Because you know, when people say a fool is said in his heart there is no God, one of the Psalms or whatever, in Matthew 5:22. Jesus himself says that if you call someone a fool, you're in danger of hellfire. And I'm like, well,
ooh,
I memorize that passage. So when someone pulls out that argument, I can go, really?
mm.
So yeah. But other than that, I have no intention of memorizing that shit. On the other hand, there's a chance I could recite Star Wars from beginning to end. So yeah.
Yeah, why didn't I think that that would be the case?
I've seen it enough times. But
I think I've seen it only fewer than a dozen times. I can tell you that, but well, I haven't seen the Star Trek movies that many times either. I just don't do
there's no
movies
point in
very
that.
often. Say again?
I said, there's no point in that.
Well,
Well, I mean,
there
I'm
are a couple
sorry.
of there are
Shatner is in so many of them, and you know he's evil. So,
yeah, there
although it's
are
funny, speaking of Star Trek,
yes, dear.
I was at a cousin's wedding recently,
Yes.
and my uncle was like, you know, you should totally challenge yourself, try something new. So, I'm learning Klingon.
Oh, yay!
Yes.
So it's gonna sound something like I
Something
don't
like
know.
that, yeah. But no,
So
there's a
when
website online. It's called Duolingo, and it's there to help people learn foreign languages. And one of the options is
it's
Klingon.
Klingon, so
And so I've been learning it.
somebody actually wrote a grammar and came up
Oh,
with the
yeah.
vocabulary and everything.
Yeah,
Oh
totally. It's
well,
this linguist dude called Mark Okrand, and he made an actual language. When you see people speaking Klingon on like Star Trek The Next Generation, they are speaking an actual language.
so
You
they are
can
saying
translate
something.
it. What?
Wow, they are
Yeah.
saying something. Wow. I mean, what it would take to do something like that. Um, there are noises that I make that my ex would call fluent stupid. It's basically xenolalia, something like that, which
Oh,
means
holy
nothing.
crap.
And I have thought of playing with that and turning that into a language. But God, it's so much work.
Well, when I get fluent enough in Klingon, I'm tempted to do a whole video in it.
Sign me up.
What inspired me actually to do it was I was binge watching The Big Bang Theory, and there was this one part where Sheldon and Leonard were trying to say something without their girlfriends understanding it, right? Just so they could have this commentary about something they were doing. And I was like, it might be fun to just learn to speak this so that when I watch that, or if I go back and rewatch some Star Trek, I can actually understand without the subtitles.
That I've seen that sort of thing happen before. Well, a lot of kids who are second generation of immigrants have seen this with my grandparents. I know the stories that they would speak Slovak when they didn't want the kids to know what they were talking about. And we grandkids didn't get that so much. My babka was actually trying to teach me Slovak when I was about 2 years old. It didn't work out very well because the slimy bastards moved shortly thereafter, and we were not. We were at one time living on the same lot. There were two houses on one lot. Babka and Detko lived on the house in the house fronting the street, and the slimy bastards lived in the house behind that. And that's where I spent the first 3 years of my life.
Well, I mean, kind of
Well, not
similar
really, but
story with starting to learn a language and then moving away. I was in the process of learning Japanese when I was at my first college. But then I dropped out to move to Seattle with my then girlfriend and went to the Art Institute of Seattle, where the only languages they offered were like, French, Spanish, German, whatever. And so I wasn't able to keep up with the Japanese. But much like with Klingon, what inspired me to do it is I was part of an anime club. And I wanted to be able to watch anime without the subtitles.
okay.
Yeah.
So, how good are you at the Japanese anymore?
The Nihongo wa skoshi anasemasen.
Ooh, so if I send over some copies of Inuyasha that are in the Japanese without the subtitles, you'd have no problem with them.
No, actually, what I just said is that I barely speak Japanese.
Oh! I went through that yesterday because spreche ich ein bisschen Deutsch, aber vergesse ich zu viel. I speak a little German, but I've forgotten I forget so much. I mean, the last time I had the opportunity to speak German with regularity at all was what, 40 years ago? Yeah.
Well, I
Makes
mean,
me
I
sad.
actually have a bunch of anime that I have not watched simply because, like, a lot of the English dubs are just awful, like terrible, right? But at the same time, when I watch something, I'm usually working on a project at the same time, unless I'm watching with other people. And so, like, reading the subtitles while I work is not very feasible. So, I mean, maybe I should just suck it up and watch with the dub, but still.
Yeah, that's just the way I saw a couple of the anime things that they kind of interested in anime. I just haven't gone as far as I was originally intending to do. I'd picked up a whole bunch and haven't watched all that much of it. I do have the what is it? The Battleship Yamamoto.
I think I saw some of that way back in the 90s.
My ex mentioned something about it's a very important one because a main character actually dies or something like that.
Oh, they do that a lot. I mean, if you've ever seen Gunbuster, there's
No.
definitely a rather poignant death scene. Like some character sacrifices themselves to save everyone else, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but actually, there's one where I should probably just suck it up and watch it with the dub, simply because I love the setting. Like, you know how people are into steampunk, where it has that sort of Victorian England look to it? Well,
Okay.
there is another sort of like punk thing, where it's something punk called diesel punk. And rather than that sort of Victorian England thing going on, it's actually more like World War II, right? But it's
Okay.
World War II that never happened. It's just sort of the scene. It's like if you think of, say, Iron Sky or The Rocketeer or Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow, it's like those, right? And this thing is, someone sent it to me back when, like, some of my subscribers were still sending me stuff, which was really cool. Uh, Someone sent me an anime called Lost Exile, and it is totally diesel punk. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, I may have to check into some of this because I've heard about steampunk from a couple of people, you being one of them. Um, and it sounds rather interesting. It kind of
Well,
reminds me a little bit of Jules Verne,
well, I'm very
especially the around the world thing.
I'm very much not into steampunk. I don't like the look. I don't like the dress style, any of that. But diesel punk is freaking cool, right? There's just something about it that speaks to me more. And one thing that does not exist that I've wanted for a while, it's something more like NASA punk, I guess I'd call it, where it's set around about the time of Mercury and Apollo, but it's like a time that never actually happened, much like with steampunk or diesel punk, where it's fictionalized. And a lot of people have tried to tell me that's ray punk, but it's not, because ray punk is more like the Jetsons.
Well, if you ever decide to throw yourself into a project like that, I'd be very happy to be a consultant because
Well,
I lived that era.
I've thought about it, but right now I'm in the middle of a project that's going to take me a very long time that actually is ray punk. So it's like The Adventures of Quinn Redshift, it's called. And I could go into a lot of detail about the world I created, but I'm not gonna. I think once I do I mean, unless you want me to, but like once I do the first animated episode, which is taking me for frickin' ever, I think I will make it a web comic instead because that's so much easier.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, it's. I think I've created an interesting world, but I don't necessarily want to. I mean, unless you want me to, I don't think it's productive to describe it right now.
No, no, it sounds like you don't think it's very productive because you've
Oh,
said those words. So,
no, no,
we
no,
can
no.
let it go.
What I mean is that it would take up a fair amount of time on
Yeah.
this podcast.
And
So,
besides, probably I'm looking at the clock and it's probably going to close it down in about another 15 minutes if that's all right.
oh,
Um,
boy, hey, it's not my decision.
yeah, I'm trying to keep them short so they might be watchable into the future. And my God, why would anybody want to watch my old videos? Uh,
Well, I mean, I have to admit, there are a lot of channels that I used to watch until they started doing these hours-long podcasty things. And I'm like, I don't want to really necessarily sit through that. I like my
yeah,
videos anywhere from, say, 5 to 30 minutes. And after that, I start to get a little bored.
yeah, I've been in several of those long podcasts, and I'll tell you, it's great for the people doing them when they are doing them, but you really don't want to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, I mean,
I,
one of the fun things about these things when they're live, even if you're not on, is just to comment in the live chat, just because you're participating. And
yeah,
sometimes you say something that the hosts are like, "Oh yeah, 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 that's awesome," and so it has that interactive quality to it. But if you're watching something that's already recorded, well,
yeah, I did many of those, oh gods, months ago with another freaking atheist, where we used to do 8 hour after shows after some of his interviews. And it was a blast when you were doing them, but never watched him again because it was like, no, I don't want to sit there for 8 hours.
yeah. Well, and honestly, it's weird. I don't know if mine's just broken, but I haven't seen anyone say anything in the chat for quite some time. Are we still being watched?
Neither have I seen anyone say anything.
Oh, okay. I speak too soon. Kukiji. Kukiji? has just said
Cookie
something.
G. Okay, yeah, because I see 8 watching now, and I really question the taste of the 8 people that are watching. Well, no. They're watching because you're here, and I can understand that.
Oh, well, no, I mean, when I came in, there was at least 7 watching. So,
Oh my. Oh, come on, people. You've got to come in and see Kate. Really, all of you. Every one of you. She's absolutely fantastic. Come on.
well, I have my camera on, but like I said, I just woke up and I am an absolute mess. So, yeah.
Okay, even that absolute mess must be a vision of beauty.
Well, stop that. No, see, my hair right now looks like a cross between Fizzgig from the Dark Crystal and like some sort of a sea monster from, yeah, I don't look good right now.
Mark Caesar. I saw Down a little while ago. I was in a live stream with Duke Bonanza, with I forget what Evans calls himself, and there was Bimilzebub was hosting it. Uh, Don actually stopped in for a little while. This was about a week ago or so, and yeah, he's doing pretty well. He's got his daughter living with him now, um, and things are really looking good as far as that goes. Because yeah, there was a little bit of a rough thing going on for a while, and seems to look better now. So I'm very happy about that. There we go. I may have to check those drugs again, kids. Um, but where were we? Oh, please don't tell me I'm going the Alzheimer's route. I don't want that. Um, what was I saying?
Something about cheese.
Okay, I
No, I'm kidding.
I, I was just saying something about Dawn, but I think that
We were talking about podcasts and length and another freaking atheist and
yeah, I think that closed that out. So that's okay. That's why I lost track of where we were going. Yeah, I may have to give Don a call at some point. Talk to him and see how things are going. I mean, personally, between him and myself, um, and maybe I'll have him on a show at one point or another if he doesn't mind. We'll see how that works. Um, but I know with me, it's going to be wrapping it up soon. I do have another show coming uh, tonight at 8 p.m. I don't think I've actually scheduled it yet. So
hmm,
I'm gonna have to schedule that show at 8 p.m. tonight.
I
It's
don't think I saw an ad for it on my feed, so no.
oh yeah, 'cause I was working on the morning show and not getting it right quite, but maybe I've got it right now. Um, and I'll put that. It's gonna be political again. I have to admit to a little bit of politicalness here, because the election in the U.S. is coming up on Tuesday,
Mm.
and I'd like to get the reminders out there of everybody, please just vote. Vote like
Well,
you're.
the thing though is I have absolutely no intention whatsoever of voting on Tuesday because I've already early voted. So,
Yay, that's a good thing.
yeah.
We cannot do that sort of thing here in Pennsylvania. We're one of the few states that.
They give us mail-in ballots, which is great.
Yeah, Pennsylvania is really archaic when it comes to that. We're one of the few states with no early voting, no ease of registration. You know, you've got to go through all of the old machinations and everything else. And I sometimes wonder whether it's because they are living in the past or because it's part of voter suppression. I don't know.
Well, one thing that made it really difficult to vote actually is the complete and utter lack of information about what the hell you were voting for. Like they
Yes.
send out this voting pamphlet and they describe most of the candidates, sure, but then you would get into these weird things where like, should Zippy the Wonder Mutt keep their seat? Where it's like some judge thing where it was or should there be a term limit for this, that, or the other thing? And I'm just like, I don't even know what this position is, right? And then there'd be all these issues, yes, no, on Proposition 12 or some shit. And I had to look it up, and it was like party of the first part yields to party. I'm like, what the fuck am I voting for? I
Yeah.
don't know. So I ended up leaving a whole bunch of stuff just blank because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I'm not about to vote yes or no when it might be cutting my own throat.
Yes, it's better to do that actually than to, as you say, do the throat cutting thing.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I had to look it up to make sure you could vote blank and it wouldn't invalidate your ballot. And apparently you can do that. So,
okay, that's a good thing. I'm hoping that that works in Pennsylvania because I do leave some of the things blank when I don't know, as you say, what the hell's going on. Um, but I know what I'm going to do with the things I know what I'm going to do with. That made no sense, did it? But yeah, I'll schedule for tonight. As I say, guys, everybody, that'll be 8 p.m. On Sunday today, and we'll go
Eastern,
through that. And say again,
Eastern,
Eastern. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I keep forgetting that time zone stuff.
yeah. Well, being on the West Coast, I kind of have to remember. So,
Um, Having friends on the other side of the planet, I've got to remember, not
yeah.
just 14 hours ahead of me.
So, uh, well, I mean, I don't know how much I have to say about politics, but if you want me on that, I'll join.
Oh wow! I mean, if you'd like to, I'd love to have you.
Sure.
Shut up, Clarion.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. But completely off topic. But one thing I did, someone sent me this picture of a girl dressed up like she was on a SWAT team, and it was all grammar police. So I might make
oh,
that my costume for Halloween next year or something, where like get a shirt that says grammar police. And one thing that I thought was really awesome, she had a shoulder holster full of pens,
all
right?
right.
And it said to serve and correct was
Yes, I
the
saw that on the yeah, on the back of the uniform shirt.
yeah. So I'm thinking about doing that. Oh hey, Kikiji, or if that's Japanese, it's like Kokiji. And let's see, Washington lawmaker wrote a guide on how to create a theocracy and kill non-believers. Wow. Okay. All right. I hope that was satire or parody.
I am going to look up Matt Shea while we're off the air, and I'm going to look into this guy because yeah, that's he might be worth an entire show. Washington State lawmaker Matt Shea defends advocacy for Holy Army as Spokane sheriff refers his writings to FBI. This from the Seattle Times.
Well, so when you say Washington, you didn't mean D.C. All right. I mean, because I know where Spokane is. I lived in Seattle for 20 years. Like,
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the headline even said the Washington State. So I'm going to have to look into this guy and see what the hell he was doing.
yeah, that's crazy. I know that name. I did not realize that's who that was. Yeah. I don't know. So
Yeah.
Seattle was another place that had the easy early voting by mail things. That was pretty cool. All right. Well, like, okay, part of me is surprised they don't have internet voting. Part of me is glad.
Okay. Well, internet voting, I don't know. It might be easy to screw with. Yeah, we might
That's
be able
why
to
I'm
talk about
glad.
that tonight.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah.
if there was a way to make it safe and secure, I think it would be the best thing this country's ever done,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
So, with regard to voting, best thing this country ever did.
Who voting?
With regard to the
Oh, with
country, or
regard.
with regard to voting, it would
Okay.
probably be the best
Yeah.
thing the country ever did if we had internet voting and it was safe and secure. But I don't think that either one of those would happen. So,
Yeah. Your words prior to voting sounded like an adjective that you were attaching to it. My ears are going too. It's what happens when you get old.
I don't know. I mean, it's funny because a lot of people have guessed my age still in my 20s, and I'm like, thank you. So I may be older, but I don't think I'm getting old yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite expressions to myself anymore is when did I get old? Why did I do it? But then again, there are all of the people, whenever it comes up in conversation, when age comes up in conversation, it's, how old are you? And I tell them how old I am. And they say, oh my word, I thought you were 44. It's like, well, thank you.
Yeah. I don't know. I have some hypotheses on why that might happen, but I'm not ready to discuss it right now. So.
I mean, what I like to tell them is, yeah, I guess I seem to be that young because I never had kids.
Well, I'm sure that's part of it. I understand kids do age you both physically and psychologically, and I'm pretty sure that people like get older just because of trauma in their lives. And granted, a lot of people would say kids aren't trauma, but they're definitely a trial. So,
Yes, and don't forget the tribulation that comes in there too.
yeah. I honestly, I'm really glad that I have no intention of having kids. A cat is as far as I want to go in terms of taking care of someone, because cats
Yes,
so self like they're independent. All you have to do is give them food in the morning and the night, and and empty the litter box, and they take care of everything else, and they're very affectionate. So they're much better than children as far as I'm concerned.
absolute. Yeah, over here, never had them, never will. I made sure of that back in 1985.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, okay. As far as all that goes, you want to tell anybody who doesn't know about you how cool you are and what you do?
Well, I'm absolutely the most amazing creature in the entire Western universe,
Which
and
is an understatement.
you should totally subscribe to my channel. I spend a lot of time debunking religious claims. So, yeah, if you like watching theists get totally humiliated, where like they do it to themselves, I just point it out. Then that's where you go to my channel, subscribe. You know you want to. All the other YouTubers are doing it. So yeah, that's definitely a thing you should be doing.
and it's
No, do it now.
And if you're in the side chat, it's really easy to find Kate because all you do is look for Bionic Dance and the three little dots next to one of her comments and click that and find her channel that way. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
No, huh? And okay, so for this Sunday morning, I'm going to thank every one of you who came and put up with me in the side chat and thank you very much again. And I'm going to try to make this a regular feature on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Hopefully with hardware that works well right from the start. And I'm also going to be doing the show this evening, 8 p.m. and try to make that a regular thing as well. And I'm thanking you many, many much, all of you, for coming by. And if you like what you see or ever decide in the future that you like what you see, please consider being a patron and throw $1 my way or something like that. I don't want very much, but every
You
little
know,
bit helps. What?
one thing I can add, I've noticed that a lot of the larger channels will do live streams. I think it might really help your subscriber base. I know I don't do them, but that's just because I never really know what the hell to talk about. So, yeah, but I think it does help your subscriber numbers.
Yeah, I'm really trying. Oh, Faye is here. Good morning. Yay! I just saw you over there. Um, and you reminded me. Thank you. Well, number one, I've been trying to do the live streams and trying to get myself to the point where I can actually host them, keep the conversation going. I am so happy that you came in when you did because I was starting to run out of steam and it was only 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
This is a problem. We've got to develop that. And
Well,
I
and I do like being in these things. I just don't really put them on my own channel.
and earlier when I was setting things up, I noticed that I was at 199 subscribers. Somebody please put it over 200. I'll come up with a celebratory live stream in case anybody puts me to 200.
If someone puts it over 200, I'm going to unsubscribe just to spite you.
I'm trying to remember who did that. I think somebody did that to GI, to the Godless Iowan. Just temporarily unsubscribed. and, oh my word. Okay, at least I'm starting to cough the stuff up. And I only quit smoking 3 months ago. Why is it starting only now? Well, after 49 years of smoking, that's what happens to your lungs, kids. Anyway, pardon me.
I said, egad.
Yeah,
Smoking.
I was the idiot who started when she was 12 years old. So,
I mean, I tried a cigarette once and then never understood how anyone had a second one.
yeah, I sort of forced myself to because I was hoping that it would help me fit in. I didn't realize that fitting in was something that was never going to happen at all. And I think I'm better off for it, that it didn't happen then. But, oh my word, thank you, Faye, for coming by. Thank you, Doc Fearsome. Thank you, Jackson Heathen. Thank you, Mark Caesar. Oh, God, I sound like Miss Barbara with a magic mirror. And I see Faye, and I see Doc, and I see Kukuji, and it's like, ah! But thank all of you very, very much. And until next week, this is Diana Clarion, the Lavender Lady. Thanks a lot, troops. See you on the other side.
Catch you like the plague.